Good morning, my friends. I'm coming to you today from a very, very, very foggy ocean and beach. When I woke up this morning and couldn't see outside the bedroom window, I thought, wow, this imagery is perfect for what I wanted to share with you today. Our book group is concluding Love is the Way tonight, and I have to say, out of all the books I've read recently, this one is among the best. Bishop Curry is a wonderful writer, an excellent theologian, and if you get the opportunity to hear him narrate the book, I would take advantage of that. I've done that, and it really adds to the experience. So in chapter 12, the last chapter, Bishop Curry shares with us what he calls thin places. And the story behind that, or how he learned about that, he was flying on a long international trip, and he flew right over Mount Kilimanjaro. And we know Mount Kilimanjaro is super high. And when you get up on a super high point, mountaintop, it's very hard to breathe. And he shared that Celts call mountaintops thin places, or places where earth and heaven touch. Thin places. So he said that thin places don't necessarily have to be peaks as high as Mount Kilimanjaro, which are, once in a lifetime experiences to take in. Thin places can also be experiences. They don't have to be geographic places, meaning that mountaintop moments could happen to us in our regular life. We don't have to travel that far to experience that. And so in my own life, mountaintop experiences or thin places have almost always been at church. Growing up, youth group, lots of thin places. Going to summer camp every summer in North Carolina, lots of thin places. Going to church at College Park Methodist, be it on Christmas Eve or Easter Sunday or Monday, Thursday or Ash Wednesday or any other Sunday where I approach the altar and kneel and pray. All of these are thin places. And while it would be very hard to breathe in the thin air atop Mount Kilimanjaro, when I experience thin places in my local life, I find that I get so welled up with emotion. I have to take a deep breath and just let the lump in my throat pass and let the emotion flow, so I can really experience that presence of God all around me. Thin places are to be treasured, and on days that are foggy and dreary, like the days that have preceded today, it helps to bring out these mountaintop moments out of the recesses of our heart, so that we can be reminded that hope and love and the Holy Spirit truly is all around us. So I'm going to take a moment and read some of the last words from chapter 12, because they all speak to what is at the center of these thin places, and that's love. And Bishop Curry's closing words of his book really bring that home so beautifully. So I'm going to see what I can do to, with one hand, get that portion of the book open and read it to you. Hang tight. Leading up to these words, Bishop Curry is sharing that one of his visits during his time as presiding bishop, he visited a church in the Southwest. And at the end of his presentation, lots of the attendees gathered around him to shake his hand, get a selfie, things like that. And so in the throng of people, there was a tall man, clocking in at about 6'5", wearing very casual clothing and a beard. And Bishop Curry shares that he was a little nervous about the gentleman. He wasn't sure if the man was angry or sad. He didn't know what to think, but he was just a little nervous as the gentleman approached. And as it turned out, this gentleman reached out his hand and thanked Bishop Curry for what he had said, and said that he was so glad that he was this man's brother and bishop. It turns out that this gentleman grew up in a family that was a member of the Ku Klux Klan, and that it was only by coming upon an Episcopal church that was very unlike the churches of his upbringing that he went inside and learned about love and received a message that was the opposite of what he had learned growing up. And so fast forwarding to this gentleman's adulthood, his GPS was love, and he had done a course correction, if you will. And he just wanted to thank Bishop Curry for what he had said, and was sharing the happy place that his heart and soul were finally resting in his daily life. And I just want to share the final words of that story with you. And Bishop Curry shared that his interaction with this gentleman was indeed a thin place or a mountaintop moment. Need to get to another page. Here we go. Brothers, siblings, children of God, they are everywhere in all disguises. Before he left me, we embraced, and there we were, on the mountaintop. He took me there, and in turn, his church had taken him there. Somewhere in the Ozark Mountains of Arkansas, some people in a little church in a little place had showed love to a stranger. They did so likely not expecting anything in return. They probably don't know the full impact of their love. On this gentleman. And yet they became witnesses to the power of love to lift us to the mountaintop, where humans can dance with God's dream. Their love changed his world, and our world with it. Love does that. We can't live on the mountaintop, but the mountaintop can live in us. When God, who is love, becomes our spiritual center of gravity, our love, our moral compass, we live differently, regardless of what the world around us does. The world changes for the better, one life at a time. So don't give up on love. Listen to it, trust it, give into it, obey it. Love can help and heal when nothing else can. Love can lift up and liberate when nothing else will. May God love you and bless you. And may God hold us all in those almighty hands of love. Deep breath. On that note, I wish you a wonderful Tuesday. Hopefully the sun will creep through the clouds today, and we can see some of God's love through the sunshine. I look forward to seeing you this time next week. Blessings.